seconds. You're listening to WPPM LP Philadelphia.
I woke up this morning, didn't recognize the man in the mirror. Then I laughed and I said, oh silly me, that's just me. Then I proceeded to brush some stranger's teeth, but they were my teeth, and I was weightless, just quivering like some leaf come in the window of a restroom. I couldn't tell you what the hell it was supposed to mean, but it was a Monday, no Tuesday, no Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, then Saturday came around and I said, who's this stupid clown blocking the bathroom sink?
Good evening, everybody. You're listening to Spirit News Radio, your home for hyperlocal news in the communities of North Philadelphia. My name is Max Pulcini. I'm the managing editor of Spirit News and your host for the evening. And this song is Pretty Pimpin' by Kurt Vile from right from Northern Liberties. Tonight I'm joined by Thomas Beck, Ty Walker, and some very special guests from the Kensington football team. How you guys doing tonight?
What's going on, Max? How are you?
Doing great. Thanks for coming on, everybody. So just before we get into tonight's show, a little bit more about us. Spirit News is a hyper-local news outlet based in the Fishtown neighborhood of Philadelphia. Our print newspaper, The Spirit of the Rewards, covers the communities of Fishtown, Port Richmond, Kensington, Bridesburg, and Northern Liberties. You can check us out online at www.spiritnews.org and right here on WPPM every Wednesday night from 6 to 7 p.m. So, you know, we're your friendly neighborhood paper. You can find us anywhere and everywhere. We cover the topics of North Philadelphia, anything from community civics to sports and everything in between. So, you know, before we get into it tonight, I just wanted to wish everybody out there listening a happy belated 4th of July. I hope that all of our listeners had an enjoyable holiday with friends, family, and fireworks. I know that I did. So, you know, before we get into it, I just wanted to go around and ask everybody about how their 4th of July was. So, what's going on with you, Beck? How was it?
It was interesting. I mean, we just hung out at my house, my family and I. The one thing I wanted to bring up was my mom brought her boyfriend over.
Oh, yeah?
And, he's a really interesting guy, and he was telling us about some of the things that he did when he was younger on the 4th of July. And the one thing that I thought was really cool was they played a game called the Greasy Pig, where they'll just grease up a pig and kind of let him loose.
Like, very literally.
Yes, yeah. And they'll see who can catch the pig. It reminded me of the greased up deaf guy from Family Guy.
I can't say I've seen that episode, but I'm very fixated on this greased up pig game. That sounds like a ton of fun.
Yeah.
Have any of you guys played that game?
No.
Okay.
How old is your mom's boyfriend?
He's old. He's in his 60s.
Okay.
But anybody over 30 is old to me.
Now,
so.
do any of you guys think that sounds like fun?
No.
No.
I mean, we'll talk about a greased up pig grabbing one. It's going to be another direction this conversation will go. You get what I'm saying?
How about you guys? Any special 4th of July stories?
I was in New York for the weekend. My 9-year-old Alex is an All-American football player.
Nice.
D-Max All-American. He had his game yesterday in which we won 12-6. Had both initial blocks off the line, both downfield blocks, got the touchdown. So
fantastic.
Super proud of my guy, 2 fumble recovery. So I'm going to give a shout out to my son, Alex Haskell, my man.
Awesome. Shout out. Well deserved. Anything else? Anybody else have any fun 4th of July stories?
It's nothing big, but I had like a little block party. Had my friends Ryan and Danny come over.
Very cool.
Went swimming. Had a barbecue. That's about it.
Hey man, that's all it is, right?
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Yep.
How about you, Ty? Anything fun? Any other day off? Last week you said that you were looking forward to taking your shirt off and running down the street.
And
Did
that
you get
is-
that done?
Almost.
Okay.
The cops kind of got in the way of that one. So,
Uh-oh.
just sat in the crib and just ate.
There
all
you
day,
go.
You know,
What'd
stuff
you
my
eat?
face.
What'd you eat? Anything good?
My dad, he just made a bunch of food. Like it's only like 4 of us, and I don't know why he made a bunch of burgers, hot dogs, all that good stuff.
Nice.
You know.
Nice. Yeah, I was at a cookout at my friend's house right in the neighborhood, and then afterward we were swinging by. We're driving down Delaware Avenue, and it was right around that time, right after the rain stopped. I was like, I wonder if they're still gonna do the fireworks at Penn's Landing. Even given the rain and everything. And we found a parking spot like right past the Sugar House, like right on the side of the road. Crazy how we found one. And we spent like half hour, 45 minutes right there in Penn Treaty Park, which is awesome because you got everybody coming from all those neighborhoods, just all coming to Penn Treaty Park. People bringing in their own fireworks, not just watching the ones at Penn's Landing and in Camden, but you got the ones coming up from behind us in Fishtown. You got the ones coming up from Penn Treaty Park. It was a great time. So it was a lot of fun to be spending the Independence Day in the city where it all happened, right? I mean, I think that's the coolest thing. Getting to celebrate the 4th of July in Philly is probably the coolest place you can celebrate it. I don't know. But it's always one of my favorite holidays. And now it's looking forward to my other favorite holiday, and that's Thanksgiving.
That's my favorite too.
Football and food, man. You
There you
can't
go.
beat it. You can't beat it.
Thanksgiving's my favorite.
And so, tonight we're here to talk about football, not food, but we're here to talk about football. And that's why, it's my distinct pleasure and the honor to introduce all you guys from the Kensington football team. So once again, let's go around and let everybody out there know who we're talking to. Let's start with you. Oh, let's try again. Go for it.
Kenneth Fry.
And what grade are you in, and what position do you play?
I'm going to the 12th grade. I play quarterback, wide receiver, running back, and defensive end.
A jack of all trades. Any whenever any man goes down, you're the first guy up.
Mm-hmm.
Very good, very good. Then we got Coach Justin.
Coach Justin, Kensington alumni, class of 2001. That's all I got to say for now. Pass the mic.
Ryan Haskell. I just graduated high school. I'm going into college, IUP, in this August, and I play right tackle and defensive end.
Congratulations. Are you gonna play in college too?
Yeah, I'm going to try and go as a walk-on.
Okay, very good, very good. Well, we'll get to that. I definitely want to talk to you about that. Moving on.
Joe Rose. I'm going into my senior year. Play guard and defensive end and special teams.
Very cool, very
Yeah.
cool.
And my name's Dan Haskell, and I'm a graduate of Kensington, so I'm not on the football team anymore, but I'm going to IUP looking to walk on.
Okay, very good. So you guys are sticking together.
Yeah.
You've been together for your whole life, so you're gonna keep doing it, right?
Yeah.
So we got a little bit of family going on here. We have Justin, and they're both your sons, right?
Yes.
There you go. So, and we got another one coming up. So, lots of Haskells running football over in Kensington right now.
Yeah, man. That's what it's about.
So, let's talk about the program. And Kensington football has always been very near and dear to my heart. One of my best friends, Elwood Erb, actually started the football team, and I know some of you guys have had the pleasure of having Coach Erb as your coach.
He's nuts.
That
Herb's
dude's nuts.
So nuts.
Shout out to
on his
Herb.
bad side.
Hopefully,
Yeah, Herb's
hopefully
the
you're out there
man.
listening, man. But yeah, so just to kind of give our listeners a backstory, Herb is another neighborhood guy who he graduated from college, and he was spending some time in Hawaii when he decided he wanted to come back home and make an impact in Philadelphia. And one of the ways he wanted to do that was become a teacher, and in becoming a teacher, he ended up starting the first football program in Kensington High School. And at this point, Kensington had been broken up into a couple of different schools, the multiplex, but Kensington had never had a football team.
No.
And that's kind of crazy. You'd think that, Kensington, one of the biggest neighborhoods in the city, one of the most well-known neighborhoods in the city, for better or for worse, never had a varsity football program. And so I remember, talking to Herb, was actually my first story with Spirit about this. And, he told me that not only was this the first time this neighborhood had ever had a team, but that there wasn't a field. That giant wall that now says Kensington football, in the big varsity letters, used to read "Smoke, Dust, Kill Cops." And Herb told me this story, and it was totally mind-blowing. So, I'm just hanging out with him and telling that story. It was the journey between making it just some junior varsity team that is making its way to now it's a fully fledged varsity team. And now you guys, even though you guys have just graduated, but Justin, you're coaching there, the other guys are still playing. You guys now have this varsity program, that you guys are continuing to mold and to build and to grow. So that's so exciting. So I just wanted to ask you guys, how's the team going? What was last year like? Was last year your first year of varsity or second year of varsity?
No, our first year of varsity was 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
My
Wow,
first
time
year
flies.
coaching. Yeah, my first year coaching with Kennington was our first year varsity. I'll give you a little history on
Go for it.
the program. All right, so back in 1997, we tried to get a football program because Kennington had a partnership with Mastbaum.
Okay.
But Mastbaum was a national powerhouse. So they would never take any kids that didn't go to Mastbaum. So
Right.
Kennington would always send about 50 to 100 kids to their football camp, but not one of us would get picked.
Wow.
Never. None of us would ever get picked. So we put all the paperwork in. We needed all the student population to sign paperwork, and everyone had to fill out this form to try to get a football team. So they promised us a football team my junior year, which would have been 2000, 99 into 2000. They gave us a football club.
Okay. What is a football club?
A football club is exactly what it is. It's a club. There's nothing to do. We were allowed to play football in the parking lot at Kennington.
Where you just hang out and just
Yeah,
kind of
flag-
talking about football?
Flag football,
Okay.
touch football. That's kind of learn football fundamentals. That was it.
Right. Was there a coach or?
No, there was nothing. There
was just
nothing.
a bunch of
It
just a
was
bunch of
just
kids hanging out.
Like, oh, yeah, come here. Do the play where you got to run from here to the trash can. Circle it twice and catch it. It's 5 points.
Wow.
So that's kind of how it went. So we kept pushing for it, and then I graduated in 01.
Right.
And then it kind of just fell off. The underclassmen didn't really push for it. So then when Herb got to Kennington, he started to push for it. And the athletic director at the time, Mr. Eganoff, who's a Kennington legend, he told Herb not to do it. He's like, I don't think it's a good idea. Don't do it. We don't want it. I don't think it will last. Well, knowing Herb was like, okay, I'll listen to you. Went out and did it. And we're prospering now.
Awesome.
We're getting out there. I'm a neighborhood guy, just like Herb is. I'm a volunteer coach. I went out, tried, we tried the whole let's try to get Coach Haskell paid. It didn't work. So it's fine. I got so much love for the sport and the school alone. You create, bonds with these kids.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Like this kid. Kenny gets on my nerves, but I love him. I love the kid. I truly do, because I watched him go from this 14-year-old kid who's now coming into a man.
Right.
And there's a couple kids on the team that are like that been there with me for my full ride so far.
Right.
So I'm going to be sad when they, after the season's done. Like, that's going to, hit close to home because he's in my house. These kids sleep at my house. Joey's at my house all the time.
Right.
So not only do you, coach them in football, but you coach them in life
Right.
as well. You got to have access to them 24/7.
Well, and that's such an important thing that football brings. I mean, it's discipline, it's teamwork. I mean, it's the ultimate team game. And these are all lessons that you not only impart in the gridiron, but in life. And I think it's so important to have it, in a city environment, in a neighborhood like Kensington, to provide this to these young men.
Yeah, exactly. The neighborhood. Now, mind you, the neighborhood's coming up, but it's always a tough neighborhood. It's always going to be a tough neighborhood.
Sure.
You're not going to completely change Kensington.
Sure.
It's a tough neighborhood, and a lot of my kids, they come from single family homes.
Right.
Single parent home. I mean, so a lot of them look to me, Herb, Aiken, Coach Ryan, as father figures.
Right.
More or less, some latch on to me more than the other coaches because the other coaches are teachers. I'm not.
Right.
I'm just an outside guy. So I'm more involved.
Right.
Not saying that the other coaches aren't, because they're great. But, I'll go to the house. I had a kid last summer not showing up to football camp. Why aren't you showing up to football camp? Well, I'm hungry. There's no food in my house.
Oh, wow.
Well, what happened? My mom lost her job. Okay, well, come with me. I took him food shopping. Be at football tomorrow, 7 a.m.
That's amazing.
That's what, you take on a role that you want. And I don't like talking about stuff like that because good deeds are supposed to go unheard. You're supposed to just do it. But that's what I go above and beyond for my boys. And I'm going to continue to do that, because that's what we need.
Right. Tom Beck, you have a question?
Do you think that there's a special bond between a football coach and his players as opposed to coaches of other sports? And do you think there's a reason why?
I mean, no matter what sport it is, players will always have that bond. Like me, I fight, so I have a super close bond with my coach because at the end of the day, ultimately, like I follow his word. Like when I'm in that cage, I'm listening to him. I look at him for comfort. These kids, one play can change their life. They could be paralyzed. They could shatter their leg and anything. So they look for us, they look at us, as comfort. And I look at them as comfort as well, too. You know what I mean? Like, as much as they trust me, I trust them. It's something you have to experience. It's life-changing. It's fun. It's life-changing, and I love doing it, and I'm going to continue to do it until I no longer can.
So what are some of the hardships that you guys face as a new program, as a team that has a lot of young guys who are learning the sport for the first time? What are the challenges as a program, not only, as well as the challenges as a coach for you to make sure these guys are learning the fundamentals they need to know to stay safe?
All right. 2 things. Fundraising.
Yeah.
Fundraising is huge.
Right.
We don't have, somebody pouring thousands of dollars in. We don't have, corporate sponsors. So when you do fundraising, you have to do it all on your own.
Right.
That's one thing, because with the fundraising, people just think, oh, well, they're just trying to raise money to raise money. No, we're a public school. That doesn't work. The school district doesn't give you anything. People think, oh, well, you're a public school, you get all this money.
Well, they have barely any money to stay open, let alone.
Look what they're doing to their teachers.
Right,
I mean,
right.
Teachers are unsung heroes.
Right.
And they're messing with the teachers' money. Football, they don't give no money up for any sports.
Yeah.
And football's an expensive sport. So you got to push it back off on the players. Like I said, 90% of the kids on our team come from single-parent homes. We can't put out dues. Most of these schools are $100, $200 dues just to play on a football team.
Wow.
We tried to do $30 dues. That didn't work out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then who's it go on? We have to buy equipment. We got to get pads, mouthpieces. It's the little things. Socks. You get in trouble for not having the same socks on.
Right.
Wow.
The refs will throw a flag on that?
Yeah.
Wow.
So you got to be in uniform. It's rule.
Right.
And 2, we don't have feeder programs.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like we have these 3-4 Pop Warner teams that are like, you know what, here, go to Kensington. So when you get football players, you develop them.
Mm-hmm.
So we're developing players. Coach Ryan says this all the time. It's not like I'm inheriting already groomed football players. Now, don't get it wrong. You get some sprinkled in.
Right.
But when you only get, you get 22 starters on a football team, well, 33 if you count the special teams, okay?
Right.
We may have 12 that played organized sports or 9 that played organized football.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so now
absolutely.
we have to develop them on how to do it. So it takes a season or 2.
Right.
Because kids ain't used to getting hit. They don't know what a form tackle is.
So when you get kids who come in as freshmen, most of them have not put on pads before. They're just playing in the alley, flag football, stuff like that.
Kids, see, they don't realize, like, when you see the NFL and you see the one-handed catches and you see the highlight reel Brian Dawkins hit where he flies over the pile and he's hitting the guy with the shoulder, or when he laid out Algie Crumpler in that playoff game, or when Sheldon Brown hit Reggie Bush. Hits like that. Kids don't realize that's from years and years and years and years of practice and playing.
Right.
Kids think, oh, I'll put the pads on tomorrow and there you go. I'm going to go out and just, make a hit like that. It doesn't work that way. Your first thing to do is to react and you get scared.
Yeah.
But it's normal. You're supposed to. It's something you're doing something you're not used to doing. So we have to develop them, let them know, listen, it hurts at first, but gradually you'll get used to it, and then finally you're going to look back and laugh at that time when you were scared to make the tackle, when you were scared to go extra and push a little harder. Now you're doing it like it's walking or taking a deep breath.
Right. Let's talk about the fundraising for a little bit. I know Ty was recently at one of the fundraising events. Ty, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you saw?
It was dope. Walked up. Guys were in the parking lot on the side of the high school. Met Justin, met the other guys, whatnot that were there. The rain earlier that day though had scared off like a few people, so people were just like come and like drop their food off at his event. People come drop the food off. You buy a platter. It was like $5 a plate.
Yeah, it was like $5
that.
a platter. Yeah.
Yeah. everything looked really good. And on the inside, it was a gym, and that's where the rest of where everybody was. Had like this big tournament going on, this 3-on-3 tournament going on, with like a prize and everything at the end. And I ended up, I mean, the plan was to just take pictures and interview people, but I ended up joining it myself.
I said Ty was in
Couldn't
there.
say no.
Ty was in there playing ball like Jackie Moon, from what I heard.
Yeah. In some cargos and a beater, doing my best.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, with actually with one of the twins on my team. And I mean, we almost got him out of there, but
Nice.
my cargos failed me. So.
Blame it on the shorts, right? No, obviously fundraising is so important for any grassroots organization. And I always remember Herb saying, back in the day that he wouldn't have kids on his team just out there canning, that you guys are actually going to work for any fundraising efforts and put on events, whether it's a neighborhood cookout or, a basketball tournament. Anything else in the pipes you guys got going?
Max, how many times have I reached out to you to ask if we could clean Palmer Park?
Yeah.
I've reached out to you maybe 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
I've reached out to them people to bring the Kensington High School team over there to clean Palmer Park. My brother's over there, so I want my team to meet my brother. He's there. His final resting place is over there. He served. He was a Marine. He passed away in 2006 in April. So I want to bring my guys over there and meet them, but I want them to clean the park up.
Right.
We're not asking for nothing for free. My guys will come and work. I want the neighborhood to know that we're giving back. We want to give back to the neighborhood. Meet these kids. These are good kids. The guys on my team are good kids. They're not bad kids.
Absolutely.
What
are some of the biggest success stories you've seen as a coach?
A couple kids. We got kids going to college. We got kids working. I have one kid, Jacob Rodriguez. Now he plays college football. He's coming back. He's running our spring and summer practice for us.
Where's he playing?
What college does he go to?
East Stroudsburg.
East Stroudsburg.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. That's
know?
awesome. And then we got a couple college-bound, student athletes right here.
And we'll be playing East Stroudsburg.
You're gonna be playing East Stroudsburg.
We'll be playing East Stroudsburg probably this season or the next season.
Okay, really?
Yeah.
So, let's talk about the college experience. You guys are going to IUP,
Yes.
and have you had any conversation with the football team about walking on?
Not with the football team, but we have talked when we were there. We had to go there for orientation. I think about like 2-3 weeks ago, maybe. And we wound up talking to the rugby coach and his players. So he was like, "When you guys get here, we'll all meet up. Make sure you look out for guys with rugby shirts, and
Right.
even if you don't want to play rugby, you can still work out with us, and we'll get you ready for the season."
That's awesome. That's
So,
awesome. And I tried out rugby when I was in college, and I played football in high school too. And I went to Temple, so I pretty much gave up my football, aspirations,
Oh,
D1.
yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna move to the city instead,
Yeah.
But I tried rugby out, and it's a great sport, so you guys should definitely check it out if the walking on thing doesn't work
Yeah,
out.
definitely.
But let's talk about how being
Hold-
on the football team. what's
Hold
up?
on, I gotta cut you off for a minute.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. These two had full rides to a few schools as well that they declined.
Right.
They have full rides to colleges
wow.
that they're not talking about. So they wanted to do IUP because it's the best state school besides Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
They do got sports scholarships, but it's basically covering napkins and pens and pencils.
Right.
So,
right.
but they're not really talking. They're not bragging about themselves. But they had full rides to a couple schools that they declined to go to IUP.
Well, it's great. It's great that you're looking out for your educations, first
Yeah.
and foremost. And that's kind of, my next question is, how did being on the football team prepare you guys who are college bound for that next step? What lessons are you taking from the football team and using in real life?
The whole so like when I came here last year, I started Kennington my junior year. I came from Saul up in like Roxborough area.
Okay.
So I always loved the game of football itself. Like I always liked watching it always every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday.
It's on every day of the week now, right?
Yeah. So when I came to Kennington, I didn't know anybody.
Mhm.
It was just my cousin and my uncle. Well, my dad and my coach. So when I got there, I started meeting everybody, and after like doing hitting drills with everybody and joking around with them in the locker room, it built that family bond concept outside of my actual family.
Right.
So now they all see me, and they're all looking up to me, my brother, and a few other kids that are all going to IUP to go as a walk-on. They're all like, "Oh, I want to follow in his footsteps." And now we have kids going to football camps outside of our football camp, going to like colleges, Shout out to my man Isaiah. He's our wide receiver, and he's killing it. He just went to Rutgers University.
Oh wow!
And won an award there. So like he's getting looks, and he's also a twin too. But him and his brother don't look nothing like. He's like the speedy, athletic one that like gets all the shine and all that because he's a good player. But his brother's like
a muscle body.
Yeah. He just got like something that clicks in his head, and he's just like on you. Like he hits nonstop, hard, 24/7. Just I guess that's just the way he is. But like he didn't get to play last year due to like not coming to school and all that when he's supposed to. But yeah, outside of that, man, family brought us all together.
Right.
We got our last season we didn't have a good season, but this season we got a win in a while, and that everybody celebrated that like it was another 4th of July.
So tell us about that. You know, what happened last season, and you know it was a little bit of a rough patch, but getting that win, what was it like?
It was like another Christmas. It was like
we just named all the good holidays.
Yeah,
it was
definitely.
all the good holidays in one.
We lost a couple close games, you know, by a flag this way, a missed tackle that way. You know, the first game of the season, we were winning. Like there was no touchdown scored. The team beat us 24-0. You're like, oh, you lost 24-0. You stink. No, the team won the game with negative 44 yards.
How did they score that many points?
No, they didn't. Exactly. We had nothing but flags that marched them down the field on us, and they scored.
Wow.
Our defense was on the field for 48 minutes out of 60. Because we would have them at 4th and 40. They punt the ball.
Real down and distance?
Yes. They would punt the ball. One of our guys would run into the kicker. Automatic first down.
Oh, man. Personal foul.
Same thing. It'd be 3rd and 29. Face mask. 15 yards first down.
Meanwhile, me and my brother play both sides of the ball in 90-degree weather.
No, 100-degree weather.
Yeah,
the first game of the season, the heat index, the first game of the season was like 112.
Wow.
Because we start, the way football works in America, it's high school, then college, then the NFL.
Right.
So always notice high school football starts a week before college starts a week before the NFL.
Right.
So we always start, we're the 3rd week in August.
The hot week of August.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
That's crazy. Beck, you had something to ask?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, did the refs have it out for you that one game, or were your
they
guys
didn't.
just making
No, not at all.
stupid
The refs
plays?
were calling an even game. Well, listen, the Philly public refs, man, it's a shame because these dudes, man, it's you could end up trying to kill these guys sometime. for real.
So you know, as a coach, how do you go about trying to correct, you know, these mental lapses? Because, you know, what's the old saying? 90% of the game is mental, you know?
Yeah, and the other 20%'s physical. Yeah. Like they say in the Little Giants. It doesn't make sense.
Right. But you know, how do you try to correct those issues? And how do you reinforce, you know, in the guys that are making these mistakes, like, hey, you know, it's these mistakes that cost us the game, but you need to keep at it and still still keep getting better.
A lot of sentence enhancers.
Yeah.
That's how you explain it. A lot of sentence enhancers. it's when they're walking off the field. So you just got to, like I said, when you know Kensington's program, we don't get too many kids that understand the sport.
Right.
They're just like, oh, we get to hit people. That's cool.
Right.
Like Cedric the Entertainer said in Kings of Comedy. You see your brother skating without a stick. Playing hockey, you know what I'm saying, Ty? Hockey, you get to fight? There'll be a brother out there skating without a stick. So that's what's going on. That's what we get. We get these kids. We're like, all right, well, listen, now that you got a helmet on, you're not allowed to hit anybody. So they think they're in a bar fight.
Right.
So they're just out there hitting everything moving.
Oh, man.
So that's what happens. We got to tell them, like, listen, there's rules to this.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be there. You can hit, but when the ball's away, you can't touch him, bro. He's done.
Right.
You hit him 19 times already. All right, it's done. Okay.
On the same play.
Yeah, it's over with. You done marched him down the field 40 times already. Can we stop? Or you're going to have to sit on the bench, in which we don't want to do to it. Mind you, it's the kid on our team who's 370 pounds.
Right.
You know what I mean? So his brakes aren't that good. You know what I mean? It's not like he took ballet, so he could just stop on a dime. It takes him about 9 yards to come to a complete stop when he starts running. So I mean that you know what I'm talking about with Damir.
Yeah.
Damir gets moving in one direction. That's the only direction he's going.
Inertia.
So better be the right one.
You better follow him too.
Well, that's the thing. Stick behind him, and he'll be the nasty lead block for you.
Yeah, man.
So let's talk about next year. What are you guys looking forward to next year? I know not all you guys are playing, but for you, coach, and for you guys that are playing, what are you most looking forward to next year? What's the next step we're taking?
One thing that's beneficial to us is that we have 17 returning seniors, so we have one of the biggest returning upperclassmen.
That's huge.
And in all the pub. And most of the kids are actual football players.
Right.
So that's one thing that we have going for us. Our schedule's okay. But I'm gonna back up a little bit on my story real quick. When our first year varsity, we went 5-7.
It's pretty good.
That's really good.
Yeah.
We had some ball players though. So the very next year, their first year, the Twins' first year with me, Joey Jarosa's first year with me, they put us in the A division. We were damn near playing Division III colleges.
Wow.
Right.
Like we lost to Simon Gratz. It was 62-0 at halftime.
Wow.
It's the first time in the history of the sport that I've seen 4 touchdowns scored in under 30 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Like all in
all with
to start
opening
the
kickoff.
game?
They did an onside kick touchdown. They kicked the ball off again. It was an onside kick touchdown. It was 14-0. 13 seconds into the game.
That's insane.
Then they did an onside kick. We recovered it the first play of the game. Our first offensive play, tackle, fumble, score.
Wow. Scoop
21-0, 22 seconds in. Then they did an onside kick, fumble recovery, score.
Man, they really went hard on the onside kicks.
Yeah, well, that's what it is because what happens is you blow. Once you take a big lead, halftime, the quarters get cut in half.
Right. They have
You
like
know
a
what I
mercy
mean?
rule.
So
right?
they were like in and out like a robbery on us.
Wow.
Yeah, so by then they had they were just pulling people off the stands and be like, oh, if you want to play against them, come on. They're not going to move the ball.
Now, a lot of these returning seniors, these 17 returning seniors this year, how many of those kids were on that team and experienced that loss?
A lot.
Probably half of them.
No.
Half or more.
So
I'm gonna go with probably 12.
I
12
mean,
of them.
so how hungry are you to get back? You said you're on the team, right?
Yeah, Joey's on the team.
I'm on the team, but we're not playing them this year. But
You're not playing Gratz this year?
Yeah, because they're better, and how it was 62-0. So we what are we now?
What
Division, yeah.
I think we're in the C division.
Okay.
We have a good schedule. It's a tough one. It's not the hardest, but it's a tough one. I think we'll do well. I'm expecting at least 5 or 6 wins from us this year. I'm not settling for nothing less. 5 or 6. Last year, I think we could have finished with 7 wins, but like I said, missed tackle here, a wrong route ran this way. There's things that cost us, but we did the best football I've ever seen from Kensington was when we beat Future.
Tell me about that game.
It was awesome. It was a rainy. No, that wasn't the rainy night, was it?
No.
That wasn't the rainy night. That's a different game. It was just a title fight. It looked like a Rocky scene out there. Just we're punching and hitting. We're just returning. That's what it was. And then one of their linemen suffered a gruesome ankle injury
On the other squad.
Yeah, it was bad.
Wow.
So after we got the kid up off the field and into the ambulance, made sure he was okay, they had to rush him in for emergency surgery.
Wow.
It's a shame too because he was what was it?
He was a senior.
He was a senior, but he was a scholarship athlete.
Wow, that's a shame.
And he snapped his ankle in half. And once we got him off the field, Future came out, and we were just in their head. That was it. They were like, "Oh, these boys ain't playing."
They're out for blood at this point.
Yeah.
Does the heightened risk of injury scare any of you guys?
No, not at all.
Because me and my brother are right next to each other. Nobody's getting past us.
I play right tackle and he plays right guard, and if the ball's going that way, then we're moving that way.
You'll be surprised. You get injured more by bumping your head, getting into your car, and getting a stiff neck than you do playing football.
I think the big thing about football is too, like, you get hurt when you're not doing your job.
Right.
You get hurt when your head isn't in the game.
Always keep your feet moving. I tell
Right.
all my players that once your feet stop moving, you're liable to snapped ankles, feet,
Right.
ACLs. Always keep your feet moving. They always got to stay moving. High knees and keep your feet moving.
Have you guys ever had to fight through a major injury to one of your, star players?
Yeah.
Our quarterback.
We had two. We had two players.
Our quarterback and our running back.
Shannon.
We had a kid RJ, broke his shoulder.
Wow.
But my first year coaching, we had a kid Shannon Squire get tackled and get his hip dislocated.
Squirrel man. Right.
Yeah.
But what about Julian's finger in the screw?
Oh yeah.
And,
Uh-oh.
I'm sorry,
Let-
Julian. Julian. What's his last name?
I think Lopez.
Julian Lopez. Bone came right out. His finger broke in half.
Oh, you guys saw that?
Yeah, that was
Oh,
yeah.
no.
He definitely wasn't hitting R1 anytime soon playing
No
any
Call of
games.
Duty?
Yeah,
It was during a round robin game
you were playing a round robin game.
where we played two other teams. Like, it's a scrimmage between three teams.
Was this like a preseason?
Yeah, it's a
thing?
pre.
Okay.
See, what they used to do is I believe they cut it out too because we didn't have one last year. So what round robins are? It's basically your preseason. So what you do is there will be three teams. So we'll play 10 offensive plays against Mastbaum's defense.
Uh-huh.
So then Mastbaum's offense will play 10 plays against Edison's defense. Edison's offense will play 10 plays against our defense, and then we'll go back. Then our offense will play their defense. Their defense will play their offense, and
Right,
so
right.
all around. That's how round robin works.
That makes sense.
Also, a kid from 2 years ago, his name was Henry. When a kick return against Bartram, he got targeted by 6 people.
Yeah, he did. He got
and
hurt.
Got a
Yeah.
concussion.
And
Really? What do you mean targeted? Just guys were out for him.
Well,
They
the
punt-
play before
They held him
that-
up. Two kids popped him and held him up, and another kid came and speared him.
Cleaned him out.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
bad too, man. He didn't remember.
Was there a
nothing.
personal foul thrown on that play?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, when Henry got up, he ordered 5 on 10. Yeah, can I get 5 on pump 10? He didn't know where the hell, he didn't know where he was at.
it was also 10 degrees and pouring rain too. So
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
every year Kensington High School plays in at least 3 hurricanes.
right.
I remember when I was doing the Rise of the Tigers documentary series. So for any guys out there listening, I had mentioned that I had found out about Kensington football right when I moved to Fishtown. It was the first story I ever did for Spirit News, and we ended up documenting one whole season in Rise of the Tigers, which kind of took a look at all the different hardships of a brand new program. And, I remember the last game that we got to record was in the middle of a sleet storm. It was hail and ice and rain, just this most awful wintry mix. And, the guys lost the game, but weather games, it's really hard to beat that in football.
Yeah, weather games
When-
are the absolute best.
Because it's not only you against your opponent, it's you and your opponent against Mother Nature.
We had Kip last year. We had Kip. It was nonstop. It was a tropical depression, I believe, that came through.
Uh-huh.
It was whenever Beyonce was in town. She
It was Beyonce's concert. It was Beyonce's concert.
That's so funny you remember it like that.
The storm came through, but it was nonstop torrential downpour.
Uh-huh.
But it wasn't cold. It was hot. It was 80 degrees out, and it was just pouring.
Wow.
So we had Kip. We had them. What we have them at 4th and forever,
Yeah.
and they returned a fake punt on us in the rain, and no one could run as fast as they wanted to because the field's puddled, and it wasn't a mud. We were playing on a turf field.
Uh-huh.
So that becomes like mud,
Yeah,
it becomes
it's
plastic
slick.
mud. Yeah, so you couldn't run. So the guy just made a couple little razzle dazzles, and he was on his way for a 99-yard touchdown
Wow.
and lost us the game.
I'm gonna give myself a little shout out though.
Yeah.
Before that happened, I played punter, so I punted the ball.
You were the punter.
Yeah, it was like
That's
it was
awesome.
like it was like 4th and 19, and our coach called a fake punt. But I was like, all right, this isn't gonna work because if I mess it up, then they get the ball, and we're already near our end zone. So I wound up punting the ball. I don't know how far it went, but their guy dropped it. The ball was slippery, and he started coming when it fell, it came in all awkwardly. So the dude dropped it, and we wound up hitting that guy and returning getting the ball back on the 1 yard line. The very
That
next
was
play we
my
went and
game.
scored, and we had Kip. Kip didn't know what to do.
Here's Ray Finkel, the team over there.
And then,
Laces out.
Yeah, they sell Finkel is Einhorn. Put me in, coach, and ready to play.
and then there's not the drive they had after ours after we scored. The very next drive in third quarter, It's when they hit us with the 99-yard fake punt.
Wow, 99 yards.
Yeah, and it's funny now because I'm close with that kid that did it to us.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the bull moo.
That's
Nah,
funny.
It's not Moo.
Oh, no.
So, let's get back to next season. Oh, wait, we'll go for it, Ty.
I had a quick question about that because anytime I've seen like high school like practices and football and stuff, I'm just curious: is there actually a designated punter or a kicker, or is there just always a guy on the team who could kick? Anytime I've ever seen, there's just a guy on the team.
I was just the big man that knew how to kick a ball. That was it.
We're like, what's it called? But what's the name of the longest yard? You know, we got Nelly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're the jail. We're the prison team. Teach me to football. He broke my nose.
Let's kind of preview next season. So you know the schedule's tough. You're anticipating 5 to 6 wins. What are some games on the schedule we got circled? What's like the rivalry game you're most anticipating?
Future again because they're definitely.
We
gonna be
play
coming after
Future again. I believe we play Edison. Edison's usually. Oh, here it is. I got it right here.
we got the schedule.
I didn't have the schedule right. All right, so we have Fells. Fells is like our rival because Coach Ryan went to Fells.
Okay.
Well, he went to Fells. He coached at Fells and then came over for us. We played Ben Franklin. They're good. We play Kip again. We play Roxborough again. We play Edison. We play Future. We play Dobbins. And we play Palumbo.
Palumbo was
Hold on. I'm just reading off the schedule, and then I'll tell you them. And then we play, I don't know who you already know is. Who's that?
No, I screenshot off of Dimir, so.
Oh. But,
I think it's Strawberry Mansion.
our mansion. But Edison is our rival.
Mm-hmm.
And Fells is our rival. This will be my 4th year at Kensington. All 4 years we played Fells.
Okay.
Okay? So the way public league works is your season is only 9 games long.
Okay.
9 games long is for you to make the playoffs. If you don't make the playoffs, you play 11 games.
Okay.
Okay?
We had like some consolation matches.
Well, yeah, that's what they'll do. Each season's 11 games long, but only 9 games count.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Got it.
So you'll get 2 non-conference games, and then you'll get 7 conference games, I believe, that count. So you have to do good in your conference.
Right, that's why we play Bristol every year too because they're not in our conference, but that's a really good game too.
Bristol.
Yeah.
Like in Bucks County?
Yeah.
Okay, got some suburban squads
They
on that
played
too.
us down here my first year last year, and then we went out there and we played them. It was pretty decent. They brought a crowd out with them.
So, before we get back to the schedule, tell me what that's like. What's it like when you guys are Kensington Tigers going to the suburbs to play some kids from Bucks County?
That experience was crazy because we got off we had our mindset like, yo, you guys beat us last year in a close game, and we're coming back and we're gonna beat you
on your house.
Yeah, and it was
a good game. It was a back and forth game. My best experience that I've seen with Kensington, like with that, was Lower Marion.
Okay, another
You
suburban
know what it's
squad.
like bringing a bunch of hood boogers in there? That's what I call us, my team. We're hood boogers. They were serving lobster tail at the game.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yes. They were serving lobster tail, filet mignon. That's what their snack stand was.
Was it a turf field, like a stadium kind
It
of
was
setup?
beautiful.
It was brand new.
Wow.
Beautiful.
So, you guys walk in there and you see that and why do they deserve it? Why don't you guys deserve it?
Right.
Taxes. The taxes.
So,
we're paying the same prices for houses now in Fishtown and Kensington that they're paying out in Lower Marion. And our field, we're pulling tires out.
So
and,
I want to talk
construction
about
material.
because we haven't talked about that enough. For anybody who doesn't know the Kensington Tigers practice field, it's right on Front Street, right in front in Berks, right in the shadow of the L. You can't miss it because there's the giant Kensington football mural out there that Herb did with his dad all those years ago, and that field is on top of half like abandoned railroad tracks and landfill from when they built the Kappa school, and there's all sorts of stuff. I remember when we were filming the documentary and Herb pulling out a whole railroad tie.
Oh, you gotta
it's
see.
a death blow, man.
That's like Main Street, Berlin, 1945.
Right. Bombed out.
We have to do a field scan like every practice. Me, the coaches, so we'll get the kids to do it. Make sure nothing's crazy sticking out. Oh, you should see some of the stuff we pull
especially
out.
when it rains. When it rains, and then
because it all comes up.
Yeah. But
we have money raised. We have money raised, but I believe I'm not sure 100%. We might be like $400,000 short of what we need to put a field there.
Right.
But like The Eagles have pledged.
Yeah.
The casino has pledged.
Yeah.
We have people who have actually pledged that can't take the offer off the board for 10 years, I believe,
Right.
until we can raise this additional money,
Right.
and then the kids can have a field there.
Yeah.
I don't know why SEPTA hasn't hopped on it.
You'd
because
think, right? It's
you
an
would think, because
advertising
if you put it,
opportunity.
you know what I don't get is that Temple has 10 blocks up. Temple has a field,
Yeah.
but they won't let us use it. But they let a Pop Warner team use it.
Why is that?
I have no clue.
That doesn't sound right.
It doesn't make sense because we have asked to use that field. We have even asked to use Newts. They
Yeah.
told us no. No football will ever be played on this field ever, ever, ever.
Only soccer and baseball?
The Pope comes to Philly, Roman Catholics running practice on the field for 3 weeks.
Wow.
Exactly.
You think that's like a Fishtown Kensington thing?
I'm not real big in getting into the thing, but
Yeah.
there's something we could talk off the air.
Okay. You know, I remember talking to Herb, and you know the whole vision was Friday Night Lights under the L.
Right.
And that still sounds amazing to me.
I do too, and I think if we do raise the money and we are able to get that, a field in the stadium built, I'm 100% with it. With that field being named after Herb, he did it. He created this. This is his baby, and it's starting to grow. I'm 100% with it.
Yeah,
and
I
I'm
mean-
so thankful, man. When I walked over to that field and I applied to be on that coaching staff, and Urban Coach Ryan were like, absolutely, we'll bring you on. And well, of course, Herb's like, I've seen your YouTube videos, dude. You're crazy. Absolutely, I want you. So, I'm so thankful, man. It seriously has changed my life to be part of that, to witness it. You see kids that go into the NFL. Like I met the kid who played at Emotep, who got a full ride to Florida State, who's now being projected to be a first-round draft pick in 2 years. I met him. Like you meet these kids.
I mean, and what makes that kid any different than any kid on your squad? I mean, that kid could be you guys.
Yeah.
Again, what is, if we could go just around the table, and what is the main thing that you got out of being a Kensington Tiger? What is the one lesson that you're going to take for the rest of your life?
Well,
Hold on. Go ahead, Beck.
Oh, you got it, Beck?
No, I had a question before you guys started, and I'm not accusing anyone of being vain, but do any of you ever get caught up in the glamour of the sport, of like being, kind of center of attention, like, the crowds are there?
We got some kids cheesing over
Okay,
here.
yeah. You can't see this, but they're smiling.
Playmaking lineman.
Definitely me. I don't know. I don't know about you guys, but like I don't like to lose. So when we're doing
Right.
good and we're beating the team down, I'm the loudest person on the field. Like I feel like I'm cheering louder than the crowd is, and especially when we had a big crowd for Future,
Right.
it was crazy. I was arguing with the fans. I don't know why.
You're the starting guard and the starting cheerleaders.
Yeah, on the sideline doing backflips and all that.
I love it. I love it. But let's get what is the one thing you're going to take with you the rest of your life that if you didn't play Kensington football, you wouldn't have had this skill, this quality.
basically how great it felt to be considered family on this team.
Right. Yeah, just kind of go a little deper with that. Like, have you made your best friends on this team?
Yeah, like I made basically my only friends on this team. Starting off, I ain't even gonna say friend, but it's like a father with Coach Justin, because me and him came here the exact same time. Then it was Herb. Herb never liked me.
That's not. Oh, Herb not liking anybody. Okay.
Herb never liked me. Coach Justin act like he don't. Like, me and him.
Got love
Me
for
and
you.
him being together forever, basically. Like I love both of them for that. And like when I met the twins, I'm like, yeah, that's Coach Justin in another form.
Yeah. We're the comedians of the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
So did you get your like sense of humor? You work on some new material.
Yeah, because
on the team.
Because if someone messes up, me and my brother are always right at their neck. Like, come on, man. Like,
You could see Danny still has his helmet on.
yeah.
You need a cut, fam. Always
so
ready to go.
what'd you take away from the team?
I mean, I like the team because like I feel like it made me closer to my friends, like Danny and Ryan and my friend Bayla. I was always friends with them like almost my whole life. I feel
Right.
like it made me like become closer to them,
Right.
like my brothers, basically. Like,
I said, like, we're all like family outside of family.
Right.
That's
How about you, bud?
The only thing I gotta say is once you're a Tiger, you're always a Tiger. it's always going to travel with you, no matter where. 20 years from now, you can still call each other up and be like, "Yo, what's up?"
Right.
That's how I am. I mean, I'm sure you guys all got friends from high school you stay in contact with, or
Absolutely.
even college. Nah?
Absolutely.
Well, you were homeschooled, that's why. Them teddy bears don't talk to you anymore.
That's awesome, guys.
Some of my closest friends were from high school. I would love to redo high school again at this age, but with the same class. Just go like a week of each grade with everybody.
Yeah.
I think it would be a crazy experience. But like I said, some of my closest friends are from high school to this day. You know, I hang out with them regularly. I talk to them all the time. You know, so I think these kids are special. I tell them all the time, like, you have something that we always wanted. Like, we're so jealous that you have a football team.
Right.
We didn't have that. When I went to Kensington, we had soccer, we had basketball, we had baseball, and we had volleyball. Our main population in school was Puerto Ricans. That baseball team had studs. So no one got picked up because there was already 140 kids on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
And Kensington had they had a rule. If you played one sport, you had to play two sports.
Really?
Basketball team was already full. So everyone played soccer and volleyball. You know, that's what we had left over. So I played soccer and volleyball through high school, and then football club.
The football club.
I got to be part of the football club.
Well, that's it's amazing that you guys have been able to keep on this legacy, this grassroots football team that was started by the community, in the community, works for the community. Justin, what's the best website to check out more about the team? KensingtonFootball.com? What?
I think it's Friends of Kensington.
Friends of Kensington
I think it's
Football?
Friends of Kensington Football. We have a Facebook page. You could even just get a hold of me.
Yeah.
If you have kids in the area that want to learn, that want to play high school football, we're supposed to be starting up our own football camp as well, where we'll start hosting camps and inviting kids over.
Awesome.
We just gave back. We just got asked to come out from the Leprechauns. I'm sorry, I got lost in my thought. By the Port Richmond Leprechauns.
Uh-huh.
Shout out to Billy Stahl. They asked us to come over and help run their program for a little bit.
Awesome.
We did a practice for them.
It's a great little collaboration.
And
that like farm team, right?
Yeah. What was pretty cool out of this my whole experience with all this, I became friends with Raheem Brock. Raheem Brock won a Super Bowl with the Indianapolis Colts.
Right.
Me and him text back and forth regularly.
Is he from Philly?
Yeah, he's a Dobbins grad.
No
and
kidding.
he went to Temple.
No kidding.
And the Eagles passed. We traded him.
What's up, Ty?
No, I would just say I remember hearing my dad scream about that. Like I literally remember about Raheem Brock.
Yeah, the dude's a stud. I'm friends with him. You want to know how I met him?
How's that?
He hit on my wife.
Oh wow.
Dead serious at the all pub banquet. He hit on my wife.
That's awkward.
He almost got rolled on.
Yeah, we the All-Star game too. That's pretty decent. That whole experience was crazy because during the season regularly, like how Eagles fans don't like Cowboys. That's how it is basically whatever team we play. Like, we don't like you guys, but after the game we're shaking your hand. Like,
right, of course.
So when we got there, we're teammates with kids that we hated when we played them, but now it's like this is crazy. Like, I didn't like you when we played each other, and we're talking about who beat who and like all the highlights of that game. That's how I became friends with the kid from KIPP. The
punter.
Yeah, no,
the fake punt kid.
Yeah. So we became friends, and we did a few football camps together, and it's pretty decent. I mean, we wound up losing the All-Star game, but kids there are all going.
The experience as being a father, like being a dad and a coach, like seeing my sons playing the All-Star game, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Like that's a proud moment. Watching them get offer letters from colleges, that was awesome. Like the experience that, man, like it makes you teary-eyed. He won lineman of a camp at Villanova. Dude, he sent me the picture. I started crying like a little kid. Because like I'm so happy for my child for what he won, like what he's doing.
Right.
He's opening doors for himself, for down the road in life. Look, it took a stolen computer for me to become friends with you, and you're my boy.
Right.
You're my friend.
I'll never forget that, man. I always appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Like, look, it's weird it's weird things that happen. It opens doors and it creates friendships.
And you know, and it's the friendships you'll keep forever.
It's what happens. I know. It's so weird.
That's awesome, guys. Well, we're almost out of time right now, so I just wanted to thank everybody who was here from the Kensington football team.
Thank you for having us,
in.
guys. Thank
really
you.
appreciate it, and you know, best of luck. Always keep us in the loop with what's going on with the squad.
Definitely.
You know, Spirit News will always be your biggest fan. That's for sure.
You definitely are, Max. I can't thank you enough, man. You do take care, but I'm only going to tell you this. We need to have a talk with Ty. He needs to work on a jump shot.
I think we can make that happen.
They started calling him click clack because that's all the noise it was making coming off the rim. Anytime he shot the ball here, click clack.
Man.
I've made some progress.
Then the story comes out. His cell phone was missing. I'm like, come on, dude. And then he's blaming it on the sandwich and the rice that he had.
I mean, I made some progress. I mean, if it's click clack now, it used to just be bang.
Yeah,
so
right.
if it's click clack now, I'm getting somewhere toward the net.
I'm like, who's in there hitting the wall with a hammer? They're like, it's the camera dude from the Spirit. It's just the jump shot he has is out of this world.
Oh man, that's funny. All right, well, I want to thank all you guys again. I want to thank all our listeners out there in the Philadelphia area. Once again, this is Spirit News Radio. You are home for hyperlocal news in the communities of North Philadelphia. You can check us out right here on WPPM every Wednesday night from 6 to 7. Check us out in print, Spirit of the River Wards, and check us out online, www.spiritnews.org. Once again, this is Max Pulcini with Spirit News Radio. Don't forget, everybody, be the mouse that roared.